The United States has already set a record for the number of weather disasters, costing $1 billion or more, and we still have several months before the end of the new year. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says there's been 23 climate events costing at least $1 billion. That broke the record of 22 set in 2020. In total, the disasters have cost more than $50 billion and killed more than 250 people. Our rain from yesterday caused some major flooding here in our area. This is some flood damage from AWOL Fitness in Greensboro. An owner of the gym said he couldn't believe just how much rain there was.
The amount of rain at one time started to flood. Far as it started, like it just started rushing in. You know, far as the water just. When I looked outside, I thought it was a hurricane or something coming. So it was like that's how hard it was raining. And then, like I said, all of a sudden I turn around and go close the door, and then the water just started rushing in.
They say the majority of their floor will have to be replaced. They guess that they're going to be out of service for about a week.
And that sure was a nasty, severe thunderstorm that really rolled through a pretty localized area. We mostly saw that heavy rain coming through Guilford County. This is the rainfall map for yesterday. A lot of people didn't even get a drop. If you're in Randolph or parts of Alamance, it was dry. Let's zoom in though to Guilford. That's the city of Greensboro downtown area. The heaviest amounts were on the west side of town, 2 to 3 inches, over 3, close to 4 over near Costco on Wendover Avenue. That's that spot that really got the worst of it. And we saw some of that flash flooding. Right now, today has been drier. There was one storm earlier in the foothills that is fizzled out at this point. We do have a cold front working through. You might be looking forward to this. We've talked a lot about how fall air is on the way. It's not here yet. It still feels a little summery to be sure, but by tomorrow morning, we're in the 60s. Tomorrow we stay in the 70s all day and the humidity really starts to drop. The best it'll feel will be Friday morning. That's when we drop all the way back into the 50s for lows and sunshine with highs in the mid 70s for your afternoon there. All the while, we're looking at Hurricane Lee passing far away from our area. There's the humidity trend going down, down, down through Friday, but it will come back up by Sunday heading into the weekend before falling again heading into next week. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. Lots of sunshine, morning lows in the 50s with highs in the 70s. Really nice weather through Saturday. And a quick update on Hurricane Lee for you. The latest stats on the system, winds are at 105 miles per hour. Look at the size of that thing. It is a huge storm now, and the track does take it far away from North Carolina, but dangerously close to New England. In fact, Maine and Nova Scotia, they could see a direct hit from the storm. They're preparing for hurricane impacts by this weekend.
All right, all this talk of hurricanes raises an important question. Does your insurance cover hurricane flooding? Verify's Brandon Lewis gives us the answer.
Hurricanes can bring significant rainfall and cause damaging storm surges, which floods low-lying communities. While most people have traditional renters or homeowners insurance, some may find they might not have coverage to rebuild after a flood. So, let's verify. Do homeowners and renters insurance policies typically cover flood damage from hurricanes? Our sources are the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Insurance Information Institute, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and insurance companies Allstate and Amica. Homeowners insurance is a way to repair or rebuild your home after something bad happens. Homeowners insurance, along with renters, also helps cover the cost to replace your belongings. Typically, when you buy a policy, the insurance companies will give you a detailed list of events that they cover, or tell you you're covered for all events except those they specifically exclude. All of our sources say standard homeowners and renters policies typically exclude coverage for flooding. Allstate says this includes flooding brought on by or as a result of a hurricane. So, no, homeowners and renters insurance policies do not typically cover flood damage from hurricanes. Instead, you can purchase separate flood insurance from a private company or a policy that's backed by FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program. These policies usually require you to purchase them at least 30 days before they take effect. If you didn't buy coverage ahead of time, FEMA also offers some assistance to people who live in areas that receive a presidential disaster declaration. However, Florida's emergency management warns the average payout to Florida residents from FEMA is usually only about $5,000, which may not be enough for repairs. This compares to claims filed by people with separate flood insurance who receive an average of $29,000. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Thousands are dead in Libya after a massive storm flooded the northern African nation. Right now, it's believed that 5,000 people have died in the city of Derna alone. The head of International Federation of Red Cross says the devastation is huge.
The death toll is huge, and it might reach 2,000. But what we can confirm now that thousands of people have lost their lives, thousands of people has lost their homes, and thousands of families are stranded or lost.
The Mediterranean storm Daniel dumped rain on the coast of the country, washing away buildings, flooding those streets. They say there's too many bodies to identify. Many, they say, will end up in a mass grave. There's still thousands of people missing. Getting aid to the country is difficult because rival factions compete for power. President Joe Biden says the U.S. will still pledge to give support. More devastation in northern Africa. Rescuers are pulling people from the rubble of Morocco, but hope is fading fast of finding survivors. It has been 4 days since a 6.8 magnitude earthquake rocked that country. Multiple aftershocks continued to devastate the country after the initial strike. Right now, it's believed that nearly 3,000 people are dead, more than 5,000 injured. People whose homes were destroyed are now living in tents.
We need to help because every family here don't have the house. Every house here is broken.
Reaching some remote survivors in the mountains is proving to be very difficult as the challenge continues. We'll be right back.